What the fuck is up? This is episode, what is this, 97? Slightly off topic podcast. We are here with Dominique and PJ.
What's happening?
Once again. We have a sit-in, a new sit-in, Mr. Mike Vanya, my wife's daddy.
Hello there.
Yeah, we got old in-law in on this one. This one might get a little saucy. Oh wait, I better tell you guys, since you guys probably already noticed, Devin is not here. So, good old right-hand man won't be here. We won't have that juicy what if comment every 30 seconds.
Maybe.
What if? Just what if? Just what if I was a little taller?
When I was laying down. Alright, well, how's everybody's week? It's been more than a week since we've talked to PJ and Dominique, but how's you guys' New Year's and last week been of the New Year?
New Year's? I can't remember what we did that night.
Yeah, what did we do that night? I don't think we can talk about it.
No, I think we might go to prison for it.
Yeah, that's things better left unsaid.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't. We just wanted to make it seem a lot worse.
We had good people. Everybody was chilling. It was just good. It was
good. Yeah. I agree. I think the old Sandy showing her tits and jumping in saying she rubbed her pussy on the grill.
I think that was
pretty mild compared to that.
That was
that was
New Year's.
No, it was pretty mild compared to that. Is what I mean.
Yes, you're right.
Wasn't that the housewarming party?
Yeah, that was housewarming party.
Yeah.
That was welcome to the woods.
Welcome to the neighborhood. Here's this.
Yeah, there goes the neighborhood, more like.
Oh, welcome to the neighborhood. Rub my pussy on your grill, apparently.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
It's a hell of a thing to bring to your neighbor.
How about you, Mike? What you thinking? How's it been?
It's been good. It's been a good year so far. It's just
2021 starting off good for you?
2021 is starting off pretty good. It's just been a crazy year last year, as we all know. And
oh yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna escape 2020.
no, it's
gonna haunt us for the rest of our lives.
It's like the zombie apocalypse of that was the kind of year it was.
Yeah, but it's worse than a zombie apocalypse, because in a zombie apocalypse, civilization ends. This way, civilization ended, but it didn't.
It should have. We should have started over.
Yeah.
But like, some things aren't working.
Reset button did not
we
work
should
this
reflect and restart. And
Yeah. There was a point there
that
when
we've
it
been.
started off, driving around was eerie because there was no one around, and it was like a Tuesday
It was great.
in the morning.
It was
That was
perfect.
great.
What
It was
is
perfect.
happening?
Yeah.
You could go from Monument to Centennial in 25 minutes.
Yeah, literally.
If you were doing
Literally.
the speed limit.
Yeah.
No, the cops right
you can
next
make
to
it
you
in,
driving
you
the
can make
same
it like
speed.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably the happiest ones out of us all, because they're just like, we ain't gotta follow the rules and nobody can say shit about us.
So, episode 100, guys. We are 3 episodes away. We are literally crunch time right now. We have episode 100 planned. Get it on your calendars. It is February 13th. Our plan is we're going to try and do like 30-minute segments, but like 6 of them.
with the different people.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's not so much chaos.
It's good, but it'll be an extravaganza.
And then I'll be the judge on what topics and things to bring up pending each group of people. It'll kind of be
There
like
you
a
go.
curveball each group. But I'm up to the task.
There you go.
Mike, you going to be at episode 100?
Could be fun.
February 13th. It's a Saturday.
Mark it on your calendar.
Yep. Everyone.
Mark it on the calendar.
We're talking to our YouTube, Anchor, Apple, Spotify, everyone. Guys, put it on your calendar. What do you guys think? I'm going to let Dominique take this first. What do you think Inauguration Day is going to insist of as far as... Do you think there's going to be chaos?
I think that there's going to be controlled chaos. I think that now everyone's aware of what's going to happen, and that there's going to be crazy people out there and people trying to stop what is happening, and they're ready for it. I'm worried about the days before then where people aren't as ready because everybody's so set for Inauguration Day being a big deal. But it's like, what about the days beforehand when people are planning things already and ready to go? And
Yeah. I think the shit that happened on the 6th...
that was mild. That was just a taste of...
I think, we were just getting a taste of kind of what happened, what the result of people being lied to is going to kind of result in. And I don't know if you guys know this at the time, but there's like over 20,000 troops in our capital right now. And that's more than we have like overseas and almost all the Middle East right now.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's ready for Inauguration Day, but there's word that the 17th, which is 3 days before then, 2 days before then, that there's going to be armed protests and marches on every state
17th
capital.
tomorrow.
No shit.
Yes. 17th is tomorrow.
Well, guess what? Tomorrow, be ready, because there's word armed protests at every state capital happening tomorrow.
Do you think, though, and this question kind of goes all around the room, but do you think that the shit that happened on January 6th woke a couple people up to, like, wait a second?
I think it showed people that weren't as interested in politics and weren't as interested in what's going on in the nation to say, hang on, there really is some shit going on that I need to be paying attention to. I need to see what the fuck's going on. And those people who were woke saw that, like, there is so much bigger things happening here. Like, what pisses me off about the protests and the Capitol is that we were patriots. We were trying to save democracy. We were trying to do this. And it's like, no, you weren't. You weren't there for those reasons. You were there because the person who you wanted to be president didn't win.
Well, yeah, and what do you think, Mike?
It's like if you weren't woke before, you better get woke now.
Yep, now's the time. If you
Now's
see
the
all the
time.
shit happening, you
Yeah.
better say, oh, there's big shit happening and I
Yeah.
need to see what it is.
What do you think,
You
PJ?
absolutely do.
You definitely have to be woke.
I think there's so many levels of woke, and some people hit those first
There are.
2 levels
Yep.
and just take it too far because they don't yet know enough, but they want to be super vocal about it.
They want to jump to one side and they want to be completely radical with that one side versus continuing to move
Absolutely.
forward. They latch to one ideology and they're like, oh, this is the one.
I
This
do
is the one
thi-
I cling to. This
I
is the one
do
that's right
think
for
that
me. This is the
happens
side I'm going to
to
be on.
everyone, not just to people who start off
Right,
in
no,
politics.
and we do all
like
have
you
our
can be
little-
pretty balls deep in politics, have someone come along, and you just idolize that person.
Yep.
And I just feel like Trump had multiple years of that with his shows and his being in Hollywood to prep people to be like, that guy has it right. When in reality, it was a TV show.
Yep.
It was all made up. It was all made to make him look like he couldn't fail. When in reality, he had multiple failures, multiple failed contracts go on during the show. They never showed, though, because it would make him look bad.
Right.
And Same with any politician, anyone in their financial, personal, political, their career in general. They're going to have hiccups that no one talks about because it makes them look bad.
Exactly.
But if you really want to make a fuss about it and really want to dig into someone's past and make someone look bad, it's not that hard. Everyone's got skeletons in their closet. Everybody.
Not only that, but there isn't anything that you can find out about anybody these days. Everything is
on that
written
same
down
note,
somewhere.
though.
Everything is
it's
public.
also not hard to make a made-up fucking bullshit story about someone that's totally not true.
What happened? You can say someone can come out and say, "Oh, this and this happened," and you can be like, "Oh, well, here's $300,000." Say, "No, it happened this way."
I think this.
Say, hey, no.
I think this goes a lot along with the QAnon topic right now. Is for the last 8 months, QAnon was feeding a bunch of bullshit into social media about how the whole Democratic Party is a cult of sex trafficking, fucking devil worshipping, crazy people.
Right.
Which, I mean, come on now.
If this were true, it would not just be Democrats.
Hold on.
It would be people of power.
I agree that there can be these satanic cults.
Oh,
and
yeah,
these
but it wouldn't just be
child
one side.
trafficking
It would
things.
be multiple people. It would be
Well,
all
and they,
walks of life.
like,
It
think
would
about
be-
these people, like Tony Podesta.
Right.
I do agree that guy's a fucking scumbag. But I think that they took his Democratic affiliation and poured it on to all the rest of the Democrats saying they're same boat. They're pedophiles, they're Satanists, they're all this stuff just with him. It's like, I don't agree. You can say what you want. And even if they were, what does that have to do with politics?
Right.
Like, yes, you could be the devil, which I think Mitch McConnell is. I think he literally crawls out of hell to come sit in his chamber every day and is pulled back by demons. And he's saying, no, one more day! And he has to get to his chamber. I literally think there are these people. And most of them are politicians. That's what you go do if you're a corrupt, fucked up person that wants to make a lot of money. You go be a politician.
That's what I'm saying. QAnon's just looking to point fingers at one party. If this were true, there would be so many people in power that would be involved.
Me and Devin
in
have
this.
pointed some fingers about like how QAnon wants to point the finger and make it all political. And how it's Democrats that are these fucked up people.
Right.
But it's like me and Devin have brought up situations where it's like Republicans constantly getting caught with child pornography on their computers and like getting caught with like affiliation to some sex trafficker that just got caught. It's like, dude, it has nothing to do with politics.
Exactly.
It's people.
And people in power.
Yeah.
Who think they're above the law and can get away with whatever they want.
Well, think about someone who... Me and Mo had this conversation the other day. She said, think about someone who doesn't have kids. Never wanted kids. Hates kids. Think about the kind of thing... The kind of their ideological mindset at, say, 55, 60 years old. After 40 years of hating kids. They're not going to give a fuck if your kid gets sold and they make $100,000. They're not even going to tell you. They hate kids.
And they're going to make $100,000.
Yeah.
Hating kids.
What? Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how easy it is and how much that is surrounded right now. But, I mean, really, what the hell can you do about it? Like me and Mo had this same conversation. It's like, think about how easy it'd be to, if it was your job to go around and take kids. Think about how easy it would be to do.
Yeah.
As a human being, how could you even fathom that, though? How could you even do that?
It's not. It's.
You know,
It is absolutely. As a parent, it almost brings a tear to your eye just thinking about how easy it would be and how much it gets done. But at the same time, it's like
some people don't care.
well, and
For
how
people,
are you
it's
going to let
money
something
and
devastate?
other
How you
things
can't let
and-
things like that devastate you when
No.
you can't control. You have no control over that.
You're just doing your job. I feel
We're
like that's
normal
what you're
people,
doing
though.
at that point.
We're normal people, though. What the fuck are you? What are any of us gonna do about child sex trafficking or child trafficking in general? Not even sex trafficking, just kids being sold to like people that can't get kids. It's just it's something none of us can control.
No, it's
But at
not.
the same time, it is so rampant right now.
And I feel like everybody knows that it's going on. And we all want to do something. But like you said, what's one person going to do? And we all sit here and think, oh, well, what am I going to do about it? And then we all just like, oh, well, maybe we'll just ignore it and it'll go away.
And you hear about those fucking horror stories of the guy who his daughter was taken from him. He gave his whole life away to try and fight those people. Him and his whole family ended up dead.
Yep.
Like, it's terrible. And it's like you hear about Ashton Kutcher and all the good shit he's done. But it's at the same time, it's like, that guy has enough money to have security.
To do something and to have an effect. And to
If
make a
I were to go
difference.
do that, I would almost, I wouldn't even, I would expect it to have multiple people trying to come after the kids, my wife, my family. I would expect it. You're fucking around in a culture that doesn't like to be fucked with.
And probably a multi-billion-dollar...
Uh-oh. Hold that thought. Keep going. You're good.
And probably a multi-billion-dollar scheme. You know that people who buy children and trade children and people... That's not cheap.
No.
Those people have money. Those people have power. Those people aren't held accountable for anything.
No, and it's like I said, it's one of those games you start fucking around in, you're putting not just yourself in jeopardy now.
Yep.
Like, your whole family is now in jeopardy.
Because they have the money
Because
to find
you
out.
wanted
They have
to
the
do
power.
better.
And they have the power to find out who you are and what you're doing and say, no, I don't fucking think so. One person from the middle of nowhere? No, I don't think so. You're done.
Yeah.
Taking me out.
Some fucking 30-year-old fucking white dude by himself in central Colorado. That guy's pretty easy to go take care of.
But look at the celebrities that they've taken care of also.
Oh, no doubt. But think about how easy
Look
it
at
is to do. You find out where someone lives, it's not that hard to... And a lot of those people live in hotel rooms or apartments.
But people that we look up to and they died of a drug overdose. But it's like,
Bullshit.
we know this person they've never done drugs in their life. What the fuck do you mean they died of a drug overdose? This is my idol. I know everything about them.
Well, and I also feel like faking your own death is big right now.
And that's another thing. I feel like a lot of people that we presume are dead are still alive.
I'm saying it right now. Well, we all know Tupac and Elvis.
Princess Diana. She's still alive.
See, I don't know about that.
She is still alive.
But hold on, think about this.
She had to have faked
Think
her
about
own
this.
death. She's a smart lady.
Juice WRLD.
Michael Jackson.
Juice WRLD is still alive.
Michael Jackson's still alive.
It would make sense Michael Jackson's still alive. He was such
Everyone thought he was such a kid hater.
He was
Listen,
such a plastic
he was-
surgeon freak
not
too.
only
He could
that-
have changed his face and no one would have known.
Everyone thought he was such a child hater. He was actually trying to save those kids from Epstein Island. Believe it or not.
Whoa.
That's my latest conspiracy
Whoa.
that I fell into. Everyone Everyone thought
That's
Michael
saucy
Jackson
as fuck.
was touching those little kids, and guess what? He was actually trying to save them.
That's saucy as fuck, Dominique.
It's my latest rabbit hole that I've gotten into.
Where's your glass?
I'm like, there's no way that Michael Jackson is dead. He is here. He is...
You gotta do it, PJ.
Not only that, why can't I think of his name? The lead singer of Nirvana.
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. I'm sure he's dead, but he was trying to uncover some shit.
And think about Chester Bennington.
Chester Bennington, he was working on that thing with
And
Avicii.
Fort Minor.
And Avicii.
And Avicii. All three of those people died.
They were all working on the same project.
And they all committed suicide.
Or, Avicii had an illness, though. But they said that he had died of suicide before his illness could take him, right? I thought that's what had happened.
I guarantee you.
No, there's nothing wrong, and some of these people are still alive. I'm convinced that some are dead. Kurt Cobain's probably gone. Marilyn Monroe's dead.
Well, like, I think Juice WRLD is still alive.
Juice WRLD's definitely still alive.
And then,
that was
who is
extremely funny.
Mac Miller, I think, is still alive.
I think Mac Miller's still alive, too.
There's a lot of these people. See, and have you noticed that it's kind of taken like a snaky trend through hip hop?
Yep.
That it was people that knew each other, but then like knew each other only for a certain, like a small amount of time until they died.
Yep.
It's literally like it snakes through hip hop and the people who died. And it makes sense that like someone who wanted to fake their own death had it planned, had it figured out, and then through time convinced all these other people that if you do it, it's easier to do than you think.
Right. And
like
you're
all you
gonna
gotta do is spend a couple, 100,000 maybe on trying to get a dead body built that is like a clone of you, but a dead body. Because I'm pretty sure you can clone a human body. Problem is when you clone a human body, it comes out same size as you. It's not like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like most people think a clone comes out as like you get a puppy when you clone a dog. No, it comes out
it's
the
a clone.
exact
It's not
same
cloning
thing.
It's not cloning your history. It's cloning your exact figure.
Exactly, it clones the exact genetic
Makeup.
It clones your genetics. So they say, science says that most of these people that fake their own death, and this is all conspiracy too, by the way. This is all shit that if you tried to prove it, you'd get sued.
Oh, yeah.
So it has to be just conspiracy.
Or you, too, would have committed suicide.
Exactly. I'm just saying, it only cost like $80,000 to $100,000 to clone a person. But it's super inhumane that no one talks about it. But it's doable.
Oh, yeah. We figured it out.
And so they say for these people that are faking their death, they just clone themselves, kill the clone, put a bullet in the clone's head or something, make the clone overdose or however you want your death to be.
Mm-hmm.
Put the clone in your house, and then you are off to this island that homeboy who faked his death 20 years ago and perfected it has it all set up for you. You show up on the same island in some fake name 2 days later.
And they're all there. But
yes.
listen, do you think...
With billions of dollars
these people
in
who
cash.
have faked their own death, do you think they're going to continue living under the radar? Or do you think they're waiting for something bigger to happen and say, I told you this was going to happen and no one believed me, and guess what? Here's the fucking deal.
I think the
was
circumstance
right
could
all
arise, but at now our point in civilization still, they couldn't show face because they'd go to prison. It's still a
That's
fucking
true.
felony to fake your own death.
Right.
They can't come back. They're going to prison if they come back. You can't do that. That was always the argument with Tupac.
But I look at
if
where...
Tupac comes back and all the people said Tupac's still alive, man, Tupac's fucking still alive. It's like, okay, well, we'll never see him because the government makes it is totally illegal to fake your own death. So if he does come back and show face, his ass is going to prison for the rest of his life. He's not coming back. No one that fakes their own death's coming back.
I don't know.
You'd almost have to have a zombie apocalypse.
But why did they all fake? And you know what? People who...
Fame.
All those people...
Fame is...
No, but all the
is
people who have faked
the
their
worst.
own death are all somehow interconnected. Like you said, throughout the rap community, there's been that snake. And there's been that...
Salud.
Salud. There's been that group of people who are all interconnected. Who know one another. All these people who have faked their deaths are interconnected somehow. Are they not?
A little spicy.
A little bit.
A little bit of Irish whiskey will do that too.
I mean, you run into these bridges between famous people that don't even get talked about until these theories come up about, like, wait, what if he's not dead? Because I know homeboy knew this one dude that was, like, super, like, connected.
That's what I'm saying. What's the bigger picture? What do they know that they've had to run so far from humanity that we don't know?
I don't know.
What if it
I don't know if
wasn't
it's
to run?
that. I don't know if it's that.
I
think it's they.
I don't think it's the fame aspect, because if you look at the people...
No, you know, just like I do, that what comes with fame is haters. Some haters get violent.
Princess Diana, Michael Jackson, Kurt Cobain, John Lennon. Let's think of all the greats.
But think about the threats they were probably getting.
Yeah, but think of all the good that they were embraced with also. That had to have outweigh the majority of the bad. I don't know.
The demons in your closet overwhelm you when you are an artist.
But is it because they knew too much?
No, I think the demons overwhelm the artist. I think that you can be given all the love in the world as an artist, but you don't focus on that. You focus on the negativity. You focus on that guy that says, "How dare you do that? If you do this again, I'll fucking kill you.
But is
I'll
that
find
because...
you." It's like, you know, all the people that get really big get those people that are fucking crazy.
But let's go back to being woke, though, because there are the woke people who are logical and understand. But there are also those woke people who are crazy and irrational. And what if through whatever message or whatever thing that these people who have magically committed suicide when they are perfectly fine have gone through, what if these people know? And they're like, oh, no, you have to be silenced. There's a reason that there's haters. I don't know. I'm just like getting into that whole conspiracy of they're equally as woke, but they're radicalized so far to one side that they're like, no, you know too much and it's not what I agree with, so you need to go down.
You know what makes me think that? Is a lot of the early rap stars, the ones that blow up, they all have a point in their life where they start making music videos and songs where it sounds like they are scared. And it's not scared of, like, shit we would be scared of. It's scared of, like, the government coming in and putting a bullet in their head when they're sleeping. And you hear it from all of them at a point in their career. Like Tom MacDonald. Tom MacDonald has had 4 or 5 years now at it. You listen to his first couple years, he was in some dark fucking places and was scared.
Right.
But I think it's all a front. It's all people on their fucking computers in a basement talking shit, saying they're gonna blow you up. It's all fucking bullshit, because they're in their parents' basement and they're 12 years old.
Is it though, or is it some of those
But that's where the I'm scared comes from.
That's
where
saying.
a lot of these rappers that are in the game for so long come out of that and find out that it's all bullshit. But when you're in the moment and the threats are being made, sounds pretty fucking scary.
Right.
It's pretty easy to get scared. Definitely when someone's saying they know your address and hit it right on the fucking T. Dude, I'd be just as scared. I'd be like, okay, babe, we're mounting guns at the top of every door, and I'm sleeping with the AR. Just sleep. I'll rub it to sleep.
Ugh. Such a big thing I struggle with.
Okay.
These poor famous people.
This kind of leads us into one of our topics. I think me and Devin did a podcast, I don't know, 5-10 podcasts ago. We named it Civil War. We were just kind of joking about it. Like, hey, haha, that could happen.
It could happen.
And then now it's like, it kind of needs to be brought up again.
It's happening, actually.
Hold on. My biggest, and I want to go to all three of you on this. Do you not see that it's off-duty police, retired and currently serving military that are majority in these pro-Trump rallies? With that said, if this civil war were to pop off, what's to say that military and police would side with them and not protect their citizens and side with them and just let them do their thing?
I think it's going to be mixed. I think if another civil war, or if we end up splitting so far down the middle that we're like, fuck you one side, fuck you the other side.
Let's fight.
Let's just break up. Let's have one half of the United States love one side. Let's have one half of the United States. I think it could happen.
America will
Look
never
at
break
Brexit.
up peacefully.
I don't know.
America will never break up peacefully.
I don't know.
Never. No way. There's no way in hell.
I don't know. I could see it.
Wait, wasn't Abe Lincoln a Democratic leader?
Nothing surprises me anymore.
I think so. I can't remember.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure what political affiliation the first couple presidents had, because it didn't really matter.
Right. No, we were just voting for someone who sounded logical enough.
Well,
to
and
lead our
political
country in the right
affiliation
direction.
meant nothing then, because people were all bipartisan, and we all had a fairly similar understanding of how we thought things should go. And Abraham Lincoln was like, "You're not wrong, but I got some suggestions." And everyone was like, "Oh my god, who is this guy? He's so fucking smart."
With that top hat and all.
Dude, he was such a poetic speaker, though. And he was a boxer, too. He could literally knock your fucking head off your shoulders.
Right.
Don't forget he's a vampire slayer, too.
That's awesome. He was a hemp grower, too.
Yeah.
Did all the things. Him and George Washington.
He also went to the moon.
I think he made beer, too.
No.
Yeah.
I think he made beer.
I don't know about making beer, but he was making something.
I think he made beer. He grew hemp. He did all those things. He built his own house with fucking the wood in his forest. That guy was fucking... He was a tough son of a bitch. But at the same time, it's like... When was the last time we had a tough son of a bitch as a president? Who worked their ass off as a kid?
Nobody.
Ain't happened in a while.
just-
Maybe Jimmy Carter?
No. No.
Far from it.
Hey, Jimmy Carter as a kid
I don't know.
Yeah, but he was
Maybe
a baby
Roosevelt
kid.
a little bit, I guess.
He was babied. You know.
Roosevelt, maybe.
I'm just thinking of this. You know, when he ran for president, the things that he knew. He was he built houses before he went into office. That fucking guy worked his ass off. I've built houses. I know what that entails. Could you imagine doing it in the 70s and 80s too? Or the 60s and 70s?
No real power tools.
Dude.
Nobody could show up to work.
No,
Still
it was
can't
probably
do it
different
now.
back then. It was probably different back then as far as getting help. People wanted to help. People wanted to make money. Unlike nowadays, when the people that show up to work that want to help are fucking 60 and can't
Because they
lift
have that mentality instilled in them. They're like, I can fucking work. I was told to
I don't
work.
want to talk shit about millennials, but millennials' mindset and skill
We
traits
have this.
are very different than what this
We do.
country needs right now.
We have this coddled mental
what
health
do we need in the
days.
country
If you
now?
need space and time,
we still
take your
need to-
space and time.
I can argue
Everything will
that
be
we're
okay.
always going to need the industrial people. We're always going to
Yeah.
need the builders. But I get it. Times are advancing. We need the computer tech savvy people. But I'm afraid, very afraid right now that there are so many people flooding to that tech field instead of the industrial and architectural and building aspect. This country is going to be unbalanced here in a couple years.
But maybe we need to move a little bit far forward, technology-wise, for a minute. Maybe we need so many people working on...
I think, though, it goes
things.
into this push for college.
Because, yeah, and I get that, too. Everybody's
Kids
told to
are
go to college
pushed
and
right
get a
now
degree.
to
and
go to college.
You're
And
never
what's-
going to go anywhere unless you have
But
your
what's
degree.
the main thing kids go to college for now? Tech.
Tech, computer science, web
Yes.
design,
What are we
going
gonna
to
do when all the
that.
tech fucking jobs are filled and there's still millions of kids that want to be in that field?
That's the...
Those kids are literally going to get kicked to the curb and have to go build houses with a fucking tech degree.
I don't know.
That's what you get
I don't know.
in today's day and age. It's been
I don't-
like that for years now.
I'm
You
not
would
gonna,
get a degree in something that would take 4
I'm
years.
not going to say they're wrong in going to get a tech degree, but at the same time, I am going to say that they would be a lot more longevity-wise in a career if they went and did things that people are shying away from now, like
Mechanics,
yes, mechanics,
welders,
truck driving, welders.
truck driving. That's
Building.
truck driving. You
think
don't
some
learn;
of these
it's bred
things
into
should
your
be
system.
Taught though as
Very
life
true.
skills. You should be taught basic electric skills and how to cook a meal and how to sew something.
How to do your own taxes.
You should be taught that shit. You should be taught how.
I don't want to
How to
sound.
manage your
I don't want to sound
expenses.
Chinese communist here, but I think that our teenagers should have to serve a year or two in the military.
Or
That
some
could
other
teach.
alternative life skill. They have to go into a trade. They have to go into something. Learn something that you're going to use
I just
every
think-
day in your life.
I think that would
versus-
benefit our military too. You know the fucking discrimination that goes on.
Well, here,
in
how
the
about this?
military.
What if it was a
you had to
government
have
program?
every U.S. citizen go to the military? I think a lot of the racial discrimination, the sexual discrimination,
I don't
a
know about
lot of
sexual
that would
discrimination.
slow down.
We don't
I
know
don't
about
know about
sexual
that.
discrimination on that.
I don't know,
Just-
because when you're in the military, you're taught this person's your enemy, and if they look like this, that's your enemy. And sometimes
Not
you get
tr-
so
not
far.
exactly
I don't
true.
know. I feel like sometimes you get so far conditioned, and those radical people join and they get attached to something, because there's always going to be those people that get attached to one thing that doesn't make sense, and that is so far out there that they're like, oh, you look like someone who's the enemy, I need to take you out all the time. And I don't know, I have split feelings about the military, because I'm like, world peace, and we should just be able to talk about our shit, and why do we have to fight over stupid
But
shit
if this
all
is
the time?
America and our war generals,
I know,
we are the
it's-
police of the
Ugh.
world. We are the police of the world.
But why?
And our brothers and
Why?
sisters that we grew up with are the ones that they send over there to fight
And
their
why?
battles.
Why?
But
It's stupid to me.
supposedly it's why we are the greatest country in the world.
Oh yeah, we are definitely.
No, it's because of the fact that we can go in and police another country at will, which has not worked out for us.
I was gonna say, do you really
multiple
feel like that?
situations.
Because I feel like we try our best and we jump into another country and they're like,
No,
really?
I don't feel that way.
You
I feel
fucking
like
suck.
the fact that we try and police the world is
It's silly.
we
should be
we
working on
lose
ourselves.
we lose a lot of soldiers and a lot of good people over trying to be
over stupid shit. That's
Yeah.
what frustrates me.
fighting
It's over
battles
stupid
we shouldn't
shit.
be in.
Exactly.
Like Vietnam
It's
should have
none of
never
our,
been involved
it's none
in
of
that.
our fucking business.
That's why Kennedy got killed.
Yep.
Because he did not want any fucking part of Vietnam.
'Cause it's
and
none of
all
our
the war
business.
generals were like, no, that's not how this is going to go. And if this is the rhetoric you're going to go on, we're just going to kill you.
Yep.
It's all, politics has turned into a big game.
It is.
But the repercussions are like,
and
they're like Monopoly, but if you add Nazi zombies to it.
And what's frustrating is that, like, everyday people don't care about those repercussions. How many people die every day?
No, it's all in the moment.
Over stupid shit.
It's all in the moment.
Oh, it's just, and we don't care. We're just like, oh, well, I'm safe. I'm just going to go about my life because that's what I've been told to do. If it's not directly affecting me right now, then what does it matter to me?
Okay. We got, say, 18, 20 minutes, somewhere in there. I want to get everyone's outtake on this. I don't know if I can even call it an impeachment, but this whole political bullshit going on right now that, in my opinion, it's not an impeachment. It has nothing to do with Trump currently in office. It is strictly to ban him from running in the future.
That's the only reason that anybody wants to impeach him is because they do not want this man to ever hold another government office again. That's the only reason anybody's trying to impeach him.
So it's not really about the impeachment.
No.
They just don't ever want to see him again. They're like, okay, if we impeach you and you can be convicted of that, and we can pass a law saying, sorry, you're never allowed to come here again.
That's literally what Mitch McConnell said.
And it's
Mitch
logical.
McConnell
That's
himself. He is still majority leader. Majority leader of the Senate. Republican came out against the president saying, I don't know what to do here because by the time we vote, he's not going to be president.
It'll be completely unprecedented what happens.
But he gets it, the fact that it's like, we've had 4 years to see what a Donald Trump presidency, what a Donald Trump America would look like. Republicans don't want that again. So, certain
I was going to say,
Republicans
but do you
don't
think
want
it's
that again.
because they're trying to save face? Because all of those same Republicans who've turned around and on him were sucking his dick 3-4 months ago saying, oh, Trump's our guy, he's the savior. And now they're like, all of a sudden he's caused this big riot and they're like, oh, he's not our guy. But only because
I do think though
they
it had
want to
to
save their own ass.
And I think the change in emotions really came because they were literally involved in the insurrection. The insurrection. I don't know if I want to call it that. I'm still not convinced.
But those same people who were still trying to get him president, even after that whole day, and they reconvened at, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, those same people that were saying, oh, we don't want him as president, turned around and said, we still are objectifying this race and this count. Okay.
What are you
Keep
looking at me
talking.
for?
Keep talking.
I got lost. My short attention span went out the window real quick. No, where were you?
We were saying that the insurrection.
Please. No. Please. Can I take it down?
The insurrection and the Republicans
Who wants what?
who were saying 3 months ago that Trump was their guy. I'll take whatever. Trump was their guy. And now they're like, oh, well, if I say Trump's my guy, I'm probably not going to get reelected in the next election. Because that's exactly what happened in Georgia. The Republicans were still saying, oh, Trump's our guy. And the Georgia voters were like, no, Trump's not the fucking guy. He's a lunatic. And guess what? Now the Senate's Democrat too.
What do you think, PJ?
The Georgia voters decided.
On the insurrection?
No, on all of it. On all of the politics, jumping ship from Trump after all of this. Everything. I want to know what you think.
Honestly, I feel like he dug his own grave on it. He did it to himself. He got people all riled up, in a way fanatical about things.
And in a way that was statistically impossible. He literally told people Mike Pence could overturn the fucking election.
And then he turned around and said, oh, Mike Pence isn't overturning the election. We better go to the Capitol.
But what if Mike Pence and Donald Trump had a whole secret plan behind everything? You're going to play this role. You're going to act it out, buddy. You're going to act like I'm not going to get partisan on this if I give it to you. But guess what, everyone? It was all just a ploy. What if all of this right now going on fits the exact plan they were trying to come with from the beginning? But we'll never know about it.
See, and I thought about that.
But what if the plan is still very, very, very far from completion? Like, Inauguration Day is 5 years before the plan is over. What if this is only the beginning?
Well, and I think that's what they're trying to avoid with the impeachment things.
What if that was all a part of what they wanted to go on? Because if you think about this, you have all these people that are very fanatical over Trump, right? Over the last 4 years, so many people have gotten ridiculously fanatical. A friend of mine that I worked with, his girlfriend's family was extremely fanatical over Trump.
Fucking Scotch.
Now, you have all these fanatics going to the Capitol to take back, in quote, our house, right? And now that he's they're trying to impeach him. What if this is the fuel on the fire, the impeachment for his fanatics? What if what happened on that day was only just a very bare glimpse? It hasn't pushed people to the limit where they're completely fed up. What if this is just, the poke to the bear? The bear hasn't woken up yet. But what if that impeachment is like the kick to the nuts?
But you do agree, though, that this rhetoric that you can't trust an American election is more dangerous than anything that a politician has tried to do in the last 100 years.
No doubt. I believe it is a very big issue that they're trying to say that it's completely rigged. How many times has it been recounted in different states? In all honesty, how many times...
Wasn't it counted 6 fucking times in Georgia?
Yeah. This is what's pissing me off, is they're
How many times do you really need to recount something?
They're saying
for you to
that they're American...
I could understand like a 1 in 2 type of deal, but not 10,000, 100,000, 300,000.
Well, in Michigan, wasn't it? Didn't they count Michigan like 3 or 4 times too?
Yeah. And they're saying that these people that have stormed the Capitol and are demanding the truth. It's the most secure election. And guess what? You're demanding that this is overthrowing democracy and there's lies. And
you know why this happened, though?
Because guess what? Your person who you wanted to win fucking lost.
No, it's Ronald Reagan's fault.
And if he listen, if Trump had
No,
won,
I'm serious.
Listen, if Trump had won, do you think any of this shit would have been going down? No, because guess what? Their great leader would have been voted in office.
Ronald Reagan
once
served
again.
2 terms, right?
Yes.
Yes, I think
His
he did.
second term, I'm pretty sure this is where this came from. Ronald Reagan's second term, he said the most fraudulent election would be one that had ballots that were mailed to you. So Donald Trump took something that Ronald Reagan said 40 fucking years ago and fed it to his base so fucking daily that it was one of those things that how could you deny it?
It was the perfect storm because guess what? We are also going through a global pandemic.
And
Do you
even
really
if
think
Ronald
people-
Reagan was around today, he would say, it's not relevant. It's not
It doesn't
relevant
matter.
right now.
But do you really think that
But
logical human beings...
even Ronald Reagan was smart enough that if he was around right now and heard Donald Trump trying to twist his words like that, he would be like, I said that during a time where we weren't in a pandemic.
Exactly, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize.
Jimmy Carter said that.
This is why people mailed in their ballots.
Why do people hate Jimmy Carter? Was he that bad of a failure? I don't get it. I haven't done enough research into Jimmy Carter. But some people fucking hate him. And I don't get it. Because every time I've ever done research on Jimmy Carter, he's one of the truest people. I mean, he may not be the smartest fucking person, but he is the truest fucking person you will ever meet. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just don't understand what people get off talking shit about Jimmy Carter.
I just don't get what's happening now because...
But we're logical. It's not going to make sense to us.
Is that why? Because we're logical and these crazy people are out doing all these things and it's like, why the fuck
extremist,
are you doing this?
Opportunist, that's another topic I wanted to talk about.
Ugh, it's just fresh. Then they
These
turn around and they try and
these
take
people that did
no
the Capitol thing.
accountability.
These
Ugh.
people that did the Capitol thing swear that it was Antifa. Antifa infiltrated Proud Boys and all these people, all these organizations that were in on the Capitol thing, along with all of the ex-military. Because you can't tell me that the girl that got shot in the chest was the only ex-military that was there.
No, there were probably
They're fucking
tons.
everywhere.
That was probably the only one they could easily identify.
Unfortunately, do you think that's because they're conditioned to join one side and that side just made more sense
Donald
to
Trump
them
Trump has that woman's blood on his hands.
I struggle much with, like you said, the military teaches you anti-racism and it just teaches you to accept people and love people no matter what you
situations.
are. Exactly. So why are these same people going and hurting innocent people and thinking that this is okay?
And that's a conversation me and Devin have had, because Devin's like, it makes no sense why it's off-duty cops and it's ex-military that are the people on camera with megaphones ordering people around at the front of the Capitol.
But then I think it's because they're conditioned that the enemy looks a certain way and is perceived to be a certain way. And when they see that it's the people that they grew up with or the people that look just like them, they're like, oh my God, I don't know how to handle that, because I was expecting someone who looked the opposite of me, because that's what I was told my whole career, is that they're going to look like this.
Growing up as living in a mostly democratic society, growing up in the city, we have been told my whole life growing up, politically wise, that the Republican Party is conservatives, but it is basically off of like a... Conservatives are mainly people that consider themselves patriots or constitutionalists.
Right. Which makes sense.
And under Trump, I feel like the constitutionalists have had to break with him more than they've ever had to with the Republican Party in the past. And I feel like the veterans and the patriots have kind of done the same. And they said it on the radio the other day, and I've never heard someone say it so perfectly. They said this class, this political class of patriots and constitutionalists has turned into a cult of personality. It's no more about what is said in the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. It's what the president is saying and how close you can twist what the words say in the Constitution and the words of or the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. How close you can twist it to what his agenda is. And talking to next episode, we're supposed to have Devin's buddy David on. David is a hardcore conservative. Considers himself a constitutionalist. I asked him, give me a reason how you can stick with that theory and not consider yourself in this cult of personality of Trump,
Right.
of Trumpism. And he went on to saying of Donald Trump is fighting for what the Americans that built this country are fighting for. It's like, I just really think you are in no way to make that judgment call.
And that might be true, but guess what? That happened how many hundreds of thousands of years ago? We've evolved. We've changed. We've grown. That's
Hundreds
why,
of years
That's
ago.
why the
It's only
Constitution
been-
can be amended. That's why things can be changed.
It's only been a few hundred years.
That's
That
why
goes
things
into my
are
question.
allowed
Are
to
you
be
ready for this
changed.
question? And
I'm
I want
ready.
both of you to answer this. Are the things Trump and his supporters fighting for worth potentially ruining 200 and almost 50 years of progress and success?
I can see, and I've talked to Devin about this, I can see where people are fed up with the lies and fed up with the bullshit of the politics
But is
and the
it
money.
worth it to
No,
throw it all
because
away
I-
and potentially throw our country into fucking shambles?
Because I also think there should be law and order and rules and regulations on things. I think people should be allowed to do whatever they want, but there should be rules to that, and you should have regulations, and you shouldn't, like, I get the freedom and I get that this is America and you should be able to hoorah and do whatever you want,
I
but
think
you
their
should
theory,
have rules.
I think their theory is rooting off of there's too many people in this country. So there's no way we're all going to be on the same page.
And we're not, but I don't know. I don't
So how do
understand.
you vote your way through something like that when there's no way everyone's going to be on the same page ever? There's too many of us. I get their argument.
I do too.
But at the same time, it's like
everybody.
It's like, it's not worth it though.
And
In my
nobody's
opinion,
argument
it's
is
not
worth it.
worth it. You're talking about starting a fucking war with the
Here's
government.
the deal. Here's the perfect situation.
You're literally talking about throwing everything America has ever built away to start over. That is not worth it. That's stupid.
When we're not ready to accept each other and start over, it's never gonna happen. If we're so far
I
divided
just don't think
right
we're that.
now, we're not. We're not that far.
This
advanced.
country is
We're
not in. This country is not that fucked up to just throw it all away.
It's not. And
And this also goes into another topic about how I don't understand how ex-military are fighting for a fucking civil war when some of them saw civil wars in Libya, in Syria, in fucking Iraq and Iran, and Afghanistan. You saw a fucking civil war in first fucking hand. You want that here with your kids walking around? A civil war is not just arguing in fucking politics in court like they do now. That's America.
Right.
What they want is not America. They want to go back to 1776 while we were fighting every fucking day to be alive. Fuck that. I got kids.
I just don't understand why it's so hard to accept each other. We all have differences. We're all different. Because guess what? That's what America was founded on. I love that. We are all different. We all bring something different to the table. Why can't we just love and accept each other?
If I'm not hurting
you and you're not hurting me, why the fuck does it matter? I should leave you alone. You should leave me alone. But if you're hurting yourself, you're hurting other people. Yeah, maybe we should sit down and have a talk about that. But if you're not doing anything to anybody else, enjoy your fucking life. Why do you need to be controlled or judged? It's like, if someone's happy, they're not affecting you, leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Why is that so difficult?
See,
I don't understand why.
Because what's juicy about it? What would the media have to do?
I just don't.
No, seriously. What would the what would be the purpose of the media? They would have no purpose.
Why do we have to constantly judge each other? Why do we have to constantly? There's always a fight about something.
Hold on. I like that comment.
I get it.
Don't you wish we could go back to the fucking scandals that Obama had, like the Dijon mustard scandal? Are you fucking kidding me? I wish we were arguing about what our president was putting on our fucking hamburger instead of what our president was literally telling the public that was technically xenophobic.
So, which would you be more interested in?
A
president putting mustard, what kind of mustard he wants?
No, I get it. Obama was not the most conservative president towards the end of his term.
No.
At the beginning, he tried to be the president for both sides. But you gotta understand, nothing gets done when you do that. Biden's gonna do the same thing. Biden's gonna waste his whole fucking second 2-3 years doing the same fucking thing.
We're gonna go back to vanilla politics and everybody who was out and like, oh my god, Donald Trump, you're gonna go back to your hiding.
That was one thing Trump did. That was one thing Trump was right on. Trump said to Biden in the fucking debates that, Joe, you can do it. You can try. You can try and play this both sides politics game for the first year, 2 or 3, but it's going to get you nowhere. And then you're going to spend the last half of your fucking presidency mad playing fucking partisan or bipartisan politics.
I hope not, because...
But that's how it always
I know,
goes.
And you know what? That's every basic... I'm sorry to say this, but that's every basic white man who gets in the White House. They're like, oh, back to vanilla politics. I'm just going to do whatever I can to make sure the country stays afloat.
Well, we do have
I'm not going to try and better.
I do think Kamala Harris is going to be one of the most vocal vice presidents to ever live. I hope so.
And I hope
she's going to be a Sarah Palin. Could you imagine Sarah Palin if Romney got elected?
But I hope she does the
Palin
right
would have been
thing,
the same way.
And I hope she does
Palin
everything
would have had
for the
her
right
2
reason.
cents in on everything.
Oh, she would have, yeah. She did it every
year. She would have had her 2 cents in on everything.
I worry about Kamala because she's going to let... Like Trump. I feel like Trump could have been a different president. And he could have been the change that people were looking for, but he got so on his power trip that he had to just do whatever the fuck felt right when he wanted to do it.
Well, and he knew his base, and he knew what got his base fucking hard.
And I think she might be the same way, and I worry about that with her.
Oh, absolutely.
She might not do things for the right reasons.
I noticed that when she was running for office.
Exactly.
That she wouldn't really say anything substance. She would say things that were relevant topics at the time and just run with it. And it's
exactly. She's a talker.
Pete Buttigieg is going to be, in my opinion, even though he's Department of Transportation, I think Joe's going to get a lot of his advice from Pete.
I'm excited. Bernie's going to be running the budget. Can I just say? I know I said that to you earlier, but it's going to be so beautiful.
I just more see Bernie's not going to run... He's not going to run budget like you think.
No.
He's going to run
it's
budget...
It's going to be logical. And money's going to go where it needs to go. I think.
What do you think about this assault weapons ban? Have you got any emails on that lately?
No, and I've read about it, and it's a voluntary thing. And here's my thing. I think the Second Amendment's great. You should be able to own whatever gun you want to own. But if you want to own a high caliber assault rifle that's for military purposes, you should have training. You should be able to prove that you're competent enough to own a weapon like that. Because unfortunately, there are crazy people and there are mentally ill people that have shut up schools, have killed innocent children, have killed innocent people because they walk into a place and say, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm great, run my background check." And guess what? Their background check comes back normal. But psychologically, they're fucking crazy. I think you should have to go through training and a class. I don't know.
I think training more or less needs to be storage training and being able to see signs of someone's in your house that might be suicidal. Or like your kids might be suicidal. Or your spouse might be suicidal. Or like... the time to lock up the guns and hide the fucking key.
But you should also be logical enough to make that assessment.
I think as far as training for the higher caliber, the higher profile guns you're talking about, like the ARs, I think it has very little to do as far as training on how to use the weapon.
No, it's all about mental signs and how people are acting. You yourself.
Yes. It has nothing to do with the gun.
And you yourself should have to go through a psychological exam.
You just have to know if you own something like that, you own a gun that if the wrong person gets a hold of that fucker, it can be absolutely devastating.
You can hurt so many people that didn't need to be hurt.
But think about the normal person that has an AR.
They are logical.
They're a super gun enthusiast. They probably have it all pimped out. They probably don't have a small magazine, a little 5 or 10 round magazine.
But they're not those people.
You know those gun enthusiasts that have ARs have big fat magazines. 30, 40, 60, 100 round magazines.
But they're not the people who are going to shoot up a school.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they're the kind of person to have that gun and that ammo set up and around if the wrong person gets a hold of it, you are in a seriously devastating situation immediately.
But you should be allowed. The good people should always be allowed to have guns. There's a good person who can always stop a bad person with a gun. So 100 times out of 10.
So me and Alex were talking about this today. The assault weapons ban that they're talking about passing is not this mandatory buyback bullshit that Kamala was talking about.
Yeah, that was dumb.
It's totally fucking against your Second Amendment rights.
It is.
It's basically them telling you if you don't
fall under a lot of the
if you don't sell your AR or your assault weapon back to us, you are now illegal. It's fuck you.
From what I was reading,
that's what pissed a lot of people
lot
off.
of it falls under that red flag.
But Joe Biden knew something like that it's not, you can't do that. You're gonna have fucking people rioting in the streets if you try and start taking guns away from people.
It's not going to be rioting. It's going to be worse than a riot.
And good luck to the people going door to door.
It'd be like the peak of the Purge movies.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, and that's what, like, good luck for the people going door to door.
Yeah.
They're almost gonna refuse to do it. They're gonna be like, the fuck no, I'm not going up to that guy's doorstep. I know that guy's got about 10 fucking ARs.
But those people,
I'll be turning into Swiss cheese before I get to the first brick of the damn house.
I'm not even stepping on his lawn.
Listen. It'll be for those same people who've been through those red flag warnings, who are saying, hey, I think this guy is going through some shit. I don't think he should have access to his weapons right now because
that was Donald Trump, by the way, that invoked the red flag.
I think the red flag
I feel like that's only good for certain situations.
Recently, as I read, it's not a mandatory. It's a, if you have been flagged by something that says your mental health is off, you are probably shouldn't have a gun right now. But isn't it you could just
randomly call in somebody?
That's why Obama took it off of regulation, because people were doing that dumbass shit. Calling in someone and saying they were fucking a danger to society when they literally did nothing. And then Trump brought it back in because there was a couple people that proved to the police station that they called in minutes or like an hour or so before a shooting happened, and what they said would have stopped the shooting because it was technically a red flag law, and the police would have showed up at the residence right about the time that the guy left to go shoot people.
And I think
it was proven in court, so it was like, we might want to reconsider this.
Should be investigated, but there are always going to be those situations of spite or saying, hey, I fucking hate you, so I'm going to call the cops and say you have a bunch of guns and you're going to hurt somebody just because I don't like you right now.
Have you heard about the kids getting swatted? The gamers?
And it's sad.
No.
I think
there's like 5 of them have been killed.
I think, yeah.
Who?
The gamers, the live streamers. So you know what swatting is, right? Where someone calls the SWAT team and on a gamer because they're live streaming, and you'll get to see the whole thing. You'll see the SWAT team break into the room. There's been over 5 fucking kids die.
I don't think
on live stream.
SWAT or cops should be judge, jury, and executioner. Your job as a police officer is to bring that person to the judge. You're not to hurt that person unless they physically harm you first. Say I've been shot by.
It's hard though. I feel for our police because when someone goes to like reach for their pocket, or
but then
a hand isn't visible for too long,
why are we?
You're gonna flip out.
I had this conversation with my dad. He's
definitely
like,
when you have a gun in your hand.
Why are you pushing your police officers when they go through a traumatic experience like that? They should not be back at work the next day. They should be going through counseling. They should be make sure they're cleared through a psychologist to get back to work. Then they're not going to biasly judge anybody. Then they're going to be able to do their job. But we
someone with that opinion has knowledge of.
But we don't.
It working.
We send those
people.
What I mean? But we send those people back to work the next day.
But
they haven't been through the counseling. They haven't been through the trauma training.
But a lot of people don't believe it. You know what I mean? Like what you said about this, like your mental state after you go through a traumatic event. You have to calm that down. You need to address things.
You need time to say. If you just shot somebody who ended up being completely innocent,
that comes from us and all of our research in veterans and them having traumatic experiences and then going out the very next day and doing the same thing.
Well, our research is fucking wrong, and it just disgusts me because when people go through traumatic things like killing somebody who they've never met in their entire life, you know that takes a toll on somebody.
I do not envy a VA nurse.
You know killing somebody who you have never met takes a toll on you.
But at the same time, you gotta understand.
And you're conditioned to do that. That's your job. That's just what you're told to do. It
is terrible.
Why?
The part that makes it even worse is we ask our loved ones and our brave soldiers to do these things, and then they come home, and then we ask them to go to a place like the VA where we know these people are not equipped. No one in the whole world is equipped to deal with some of this stuff.
No.
But yet we still send them there, and we still, like, it's, I'm going to look it up real quick, and I hate to look this up, but I think the suicide statistic in America by veterans right now is something like 1 every 3 seconds or something terrible like that. 20
and the
seconds.
homeless rate, and it just, the whole thing, it just baffles me, and I just... Ugh. It's sad. Can't imagine.
Alright, we're gonna... Yep, right here. Suicide rate of veterans 2019. Oh my fucking god. I want to cry immediately. Approximately 17 U.S. veterans die by suicide every day.
And that was in 2019.
Yeah.
That was in 2020.
Yeah, guys, this is a topic we probably need to talk about more. Looking at that statistic, that is absolutely not okay. These people go overseas to fight a battle that our politicians send them over to do.
And a lot of the
I
times
understand.
it's not even worth it.
I understand you as a parent wanting your kid to go fight for their country, but I strongly suggest against that right at this moment, because you are not fighting a war that you have any say in. You are fighting a war that our politicians send you over to fight their fight that, I hate to say, but a lot of our veterans that die overseas die in places where their families and the citizens of this country don't even know we have troops.
Yeah.
On special missions doing bullshit.
That isn't even relevant or worth it. That's what I'm saying. We just have to pick a fight to pick a fucking fight.
And you know
There's
why...
There's always something to fight about.
You know why a lot of these people, in my opinion, commit suicide? Because of the things that our government makes them do.
Because
and the
they're put in the situations where they have to kill children.
Protocols.
And women.
The protocols
and
our military
people who
has.
are innocent. Who've done nothing wrong to hurt anybody in this country.
But it's not. It has nothing to do with that. It's a protocol of our military.
They're doing their job.
If that's a risk,
that's what they're
and
told.
your boys are in risk of some little girl walking by your convoy and potentially having a bomb, you have to make a choice.
And they have to live with that. And guess what? They realize later down the road that it's fucking wrong. And
and it's crazy too.
I think that's what fucks them up so much, is that what they did, they didn't have to do.
Well, and
they were just doing their
job.
On the same
note, though, they can also do these things because of protocol, follow protocol to a T, and then be thrown in fucking military prison for some guerrilla warfare fucking crime.
Or for saying something.
No, just strictly because they did something and the politician that found out they did it was not okay with it. Because of one of those protocols. Because of one of those little kids walking by a convoy that they had bombed, but they didn't.
They can't talk
but you
about
were doing
that.
your job.
If we as American people saw that you were killing children, we don't want to hear about that. We'll frown upon that instantly. So they sweep that under the rug.
But civilian
and say
casualties
something
is part
else.
of war. Civilian casualties is part of war.
It's easier to say that.
It's something no one wants to talk about, but
No.
it's absolutely there every time.
But we don't know what those civilians look like. They don't tell us that it's the 5-year-old children.
Granted, it doesn't
who
help
are
that they're
innocent.
covered. Granted, it doesn't help that they're covered head to toe.
It's awful. I'm just sitting here thinking about all the bullshit.
Well, and think
we're
about
fed.
someone
We're fed
pregnant.
so much
Think about a
bullshit.
woman. Think about a woman pregnant, like a skinny woman like Mel
That's what I'm
pregnant.
saying. We're fed so much
She
bullshit.
would look unproportional. You would immediately think she's wearing something,
Yep.
and you just killed a pregnant lady
Yep.
because you thought she was wearing a bomb.
And you're not trained. Why?
Immediately, you would think just because
I
of the
hate it.
disproportionate
I
body.
hate it.
It's that fast though. And we sent 18-year-olds over there.
Who are completely fucked up for the rest of their lives because of that.
I'm going to say this one more time, and we're going to end with this. Approximately 17 U.S. veterans die by suicide every day. And that is a 2019 poll. That was 2 years ago, pretty much. Guys, we're gonna drop it off right there. I appreciate everybody being here with us. This has been episode, what is this, 97? Sorry Devin couldn't be here. He would have been super saucy in all these topics.
Oh, you're saying I'm terrible?
No, I just could only imagine if Devin was here on all this.
Yeah. You would have been. Ugh.
Alright guys, we are fucking out of here.